Now that I started with narcissism and what kind of traits we are talking about, I'll just start with one or two main character traits that are core to narcissism itself. Okay, again, healthy narcissism. When we are talking about psychological terms like this, there is always a spectrum. There is a healthy narcissism that the degree will keep increasing to an extent that it becomes toxic, unbearable, unhealthy, damaging, not only to themselves but especially others. Because it will start manifesting in a very big way, enough for us to take notice and say, whoa, this is not acceptable, but this is going on. So the loudness of the dysfunction will become very, very, very obvious, and it's like increasing degrees. So there is always a very small level of narcissism that is ingrained in all of us, in a very healthy. But it's for good for our healthy mental development, emotional development, because it teaches us about boundaries, to be able to say no. Because where are those boundaries and values coming from? Within us, our personality, our psyche, our emotional development, our own sense of self and respect, and all those value systems that are essential. The ecosystem of ourselves starts all with our inner value system, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not. So this value system that defines and tells us what's healthy and what's not, enough to say no, this is acceptable for me, this is not acceptable for me, and draw boundaries and enforce those boundaries. Okay, that is actually a hallmark of healthy personality development. For someone to have healthy boundaries, enough to say no, enough to say this is not for me, this is for me. We are not like open vessels. We come with our own tendencies, personalities, attitudes, choices, preferences, likes, dislikes, what we are comfortable with and acceptable, we take it. Now, which is not, we say no to, whether we verbally say it or non-verbally through our behavior or attitude, we say it. But we have the right to say no to things that are not good for us, that are inherently somehow repulsive to us. It's like we know through our body, in our inner system, no. And we don't have to give explanations to people about why I'm saying no, why we are saying no. No, this is another very subtle but very, very important thing that our culture enables toxicity with. As if, especially for women, like we cannot say no. And when we say no, we are inadvertently hated for it. We are remembered for being that bad lady, stuck up, whatever. We have all the terms, we've heard all the terms already, okay? The demeaning terms they use for women like that, with standards, with values, with who is confident enough to say no. And more often, especially the woman who has clear idea of who she is and who she is not, okay, what she tolerates and what she doesn't, she's able to say no, and a lot of times, more often than expected or allowed by society. Okay, so that becomes a wound for everybody who is willing to just walk all over an individual. Okay, so you or we saying no becomes a huge problem for them. Anywhere you're drawing a boundary, enforcing the boundary, and standing firm in your boundary, it becomes a huge ego problem for the other person. Especially when they're coming with inherent narcissistic problems, narcissistic tendencies, which are bordering on toxicity, not healthy narcissism. That's it. They are terribly offended when you say no. It doesn't matter what is it that you're saying no to. They come to you with an assumption that the other person is happily, joyously is gonna say yes to anything and everything I propose. But the problem is, anything and everything that they come to you every single time is going to be about what benefits them. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the individual who is more trying to be nice and good and polite. the more of a giving nature, these are the people who fall direct prey to these people, because obviously these narcissistic people who are obsessed with themselves and what profits them, what benefits them, what is good for me, what is profitable for me, what do I gain or benefit out of it. Okay, essentially every single person for them is an object that they can use and manipulate and twist and turn and control to get something out of it. We are not even human beings to them. For someone who is highly dysfunctional, we are not even humans. The other person is there to offer something for them, and they are free to take as much as they want from them, whatever it is, whenever it is, however it is, whichever way it is. Either it's directly through force or indirectly through manipulation and twisting around, misinformation, lying, manipulation, all those tactics and drama and politics that happen. Nevertheless, all this happens because someone is capable of saying no and someone else is not interested in your no. They want to turn it into an yes, and even if you don't want to say yes, they want to have access to those resources that you're saying no to. So they want to take over it, irrespective of how you feel about it, irrespective of you already drawing a boundary and saying no to it. They get terribly offended if you're not giving them whatever they ask for. It could even be as little as attention. They could be someone standing in the crowd and trying to be the loudest person, trying to entertain and appear like, oh, good old friendly person, that one person that everybody in the office is automatically being friends with. You have to watch out for them. So this person wants all the attention, because through that they control whatever it is that they want to control. The moment the other person, the healthy person, walks away, not giving them the attention that they are so interested in, it could easily offend them. Very easily. They will take note of it. They will not forget it. No, they will not forget it. So there are people like this everywhere. If you actually just ponder over this very short video and this very 3 aspects I've talked about, you could be that person as well. That person who cannot take no for an answer, that cannot understand that boundaries are to be respected inherently, that I cannot force the other person either through manipulation or direct threatening, that I cannot take something from them without their express handing over. They have to willingly give, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Your time, effort, attention, love, affection, money, anything and everything I'm talking about, And they cannot take no for an answer. To an extent, they get obsessed with taking it from you. Again, sometimes it's because they want to take from you. Sometimes it's just because you said no. They have to take it. Because they want to prove a point that irrespective of your boundary, they will take it anyways. Maybe they will recruit other people to do their dirty job for them. They will twist and turn around facts and manipulate you, confuse you, put you here and there. Whatever that gives access to the resource. It could even be a very small thing, invaluable, or it could be a valuable resource also. But doesn't matter what the resource is. You, according to them, should be giving everything and anything to them freely, generously, and very willingly. You having boundaries is a problem for them. It's a huge ego injury for them. They just cannot take it. As a healthy human, we all should be understanding. There is this understanding that we all live, we all die. And in the process, we will all encounter a bunch of no's. We will say no's to others, others will say no's to us. That's the fundamental truth of life, just like fundamental truth of life is death. How can you go around living in this huge world expecting everybody else to say yes to everything that you want? And again, the problem with these people is when it comes to them, there is no reciprocation. It has to be always an yes, an open door from your side. giving away your resources freely, generously, but not about them giving. When it comes to them giving, there is no mutual teamwork here. They think they're entitled to do everything when it comes to you, the other person. But when it comes to them, they will never give you anything. And even if they make you believe that they were gonna give, it's like fundamental bureaucratic drama. So it will be always like you have to jump through the hoops just to get that little resource, whatever information, attention, whatever little that they're at least pretending to willing to give. They will make you jump through the hoops, go through the bureaucracy, go through layers. You are made to come to them again and again and again and again, because that attention gives them a lot of boosting to their ego. They think in that little gesture of you going to them for that piece of information, jumping through hoops again and again, and them making you come again and again instead of giving it to you directly like a normal person, this drama that they create, this power game that they create, will essentially feed their own ego. Whether they give information or not, the resource what you're after is secondary. The game is more important for them, because now you're coming to them for something. They make it so difficult for you to get access to that information or resource or help, whatever it is. But look at how easily and automatically they expected you to say yes and freely give their resource, just like that to them. Is there any drama there? No, the expectation is that they go and ask, and you automatically, freely, happily, generously, willingly give it to them. Because, hey, they're entitled to do it. What makes you think that you are so important you can say, no, I am the most important person here, is how they think. So you have to watch over for this kind of behaviors. This 12 minutes itself is a very packed video with a lot of information, because I gave you insight into the very fundamental character structure of these people. You cannot find this kind of people without these three aspects. Okay, the boundaries, the blatant disregard for your boundaries, the hatred, in fact, and disdain for your boundaries. And they cannot take no, and they will never forget if you don't give them what they want. They will always keep it in their mind, because they want to use it against you at some other time when you will need something. This is dangerous, actually. And seeing how dangerous this is, and seeing how common this is in our day-to-day lives, for any normal person, this should be terrifying. But this is also valuable information to pay attention to. So use this video to ponder over those incidents where this kind of things have happened to you. It's very helpful to start recognizing these patterns. Maybe we are that person who cannot say no as well. Okay? And we should be ready to pay attention to it, whether you like it or not. And mostly for people who are easily giving away to other people, stop and watch for this kind of patterns. So with this, I'll conclude this video. I'll spontaneously come across points to upload again, and I'll do it as and when it's possible.